And we are live. Hello, everybody at home. It is wonderful to be here today. We have another session of Winimere Falls. I think we're just about ready to go. I think half of us, those of you who are watching from the UK, will know why half of us are here are dying at the moment. Because bloody hell is it hot. But we'll keep going, we'll see what we can do, and we'll try not to keel over with heat exhaustion midway through the stream. Actually, hold on, I have just remembered, I have got some background music to put on. Let's go with this one. Nice and happy one. Hello, Rainbow. So, I have got some music going on here, and let me just share it. Oh, nope, don't do that. I need to share it with my players.
There we go.
Excellent. So, last session, we were on the plain of Arcadia, following Buller's very epic and very brief battle with the Oracle. We went for a little journey, and we found ourselves with the land whale, who helped us navigate through the plain, to which point you were shown portals in time, showing each of the characters places that they would need to go and things to see. Salvar discovered that he is in fact the Dragonborn, the one that they are looking for, and also discovered that he isn't. He may be the Dragonborn they search for, but he is not the same as the Salvar that walked before. We had Ewan come back in an incorporeal body, separated from his previous host, and able to watch the point of his reanimation when he was brought back. We had Alos going back to find a child, find out what the birth certificate was for, and found out that it was her. And learned secrets about Soren that I think Alos is happy to know, but I certainly was not pleased to find out.
I am over 1,000 years old, Zach.
Question mark?
Yeah, I think. Unless wibbly wobbly timey-wimey.
It is me.
I just want to know where the hell I got banished to.
Oh god, yeah.
Yes.
Because I haven't got water and I fucking need it today.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you guys are missing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Both Saralise and Salvar were yeeted into the ethereal winds, and we have no idea where they've been banished to.
Mm-hmm. The other three of us are back together, if I remember, right?
Yeah, the rest of you guys are back together.
And Bola has asked our lovely land whale I don't remember the exact wording I used, so we're going to have to use my exact wording I used last time, Zach.
That's all right, because I do remember, because it's
perfect.
Important. So, you... Where are we going to pop? I think...
Just remember, not using the exact wording. Where is it that LaCroix's taking us now?
Oh yes, fucking hell, it's LaCroix, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot that's
no,
what you call the land whale.
I don't have my notebook with me because holiday, so I remember most of it, but I don't remember where we're going.
Apparently I could be your father, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
There is that as well, that Salvar could be Alice's stepdaddy. So...
Sally.
Sally.
Is this an episode of Maury?
Oh dear. Oh, let's be honest, with the number of people that end up being like connected here, it could reasonably be the Star Wars sequels.
Wait, either stepdaddy or reincarnation.
Reincarnadaddy.
Yep.
So, jumping into it, we're going to go over to Buller.
Oh, hi.
We are on the plain of Arcadia. And you stand before a portal that LaCroix has brought you to. Surrounding this portal is something different. You see that it is made of 2 trees. These 2 trees, however, are cedar trees. They stand tall and firm. You can see that the branches are snarled into each other, rather delicately though. They form intricate patterns as branches grow and wrap around each other in these elaborate sort of geometric shapes and patterns as these 2 trees meld together and create a portal. Behind you, Ewan, Alos, up on LaCroix, watching on, and in front of you, the secret. The thing that will help you, and to use your wording, it's what you need to know.
Is this something you need to do alone, or do you need company?
She'll look up at both of you on LaCroix and just kind of go, I'm going to say something to you both. I never really want to do anything alone. But I know that I'm the only one that can do what I have to do.
You could take Alos with you. It's just me that can't go, because if I know, then so does she.
It's your choice. I'm happy to wait if you'd prefer.
Fate die, fate die. Come on, Lola. Damn it, Lola. Gotta understand, you need help sometimes. The fate dies, say no. So she goes, I'll go. Just me. Keep you in company, all right, Alice?
Of course.
All right. I'll walk in.
As you step through, you suddenly find yourself falling down onto a mess of ropes, as if you were brought out in the air. And as you clatter into them, you recognize this as rigging. You look down and realize that you're on a boat. A pretty big fucking boat as well. It appears to be on a river, but it's definitely on a river delta. The water goes for at least a mile in each direction. The shoreline is vaguely visible on both sides. The boat is stationary. And below, you can see a group of sailors milling around. What do you do?
I'm in the net.
You are in the rigging, halfway up a mast.
Halfway up. Okay, got it. I was like, sorry, I don't know too much about ships. Okay.
Right, I see. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll climb down to the deck.
Lovely. Give me a quick dexterity check for me to get down the rigging.
Sure. All right, Bola. Doing good, kid. Dexterity, just a check.
Yep.
That's a 16.
It kind of takes you a minute to get used to this. Boats is not exactly something you're super familiar with. So it takes you a little while of kind of getting a grapple. You get thrown to the side a bit. You can clearly tell that there are no orcs on this boat. It was not made for someone as hench as Buller is. But you do get down safely. At which point you realise you're on a naval vessel. You look around you and you recognise these as oracular guardsmen. But these aren't any oracular guardsmen. They are mariners. So this is the naval wing of the Oracle's personal elite force.
Cool.
And they seem to acknowledge that you're present, but don't seem to really react to you at all. You've seen a couple of them, you get little salutes off to the side as they pass, but they don't really acknowledge you beyond that. The boat is quite large. You reckon it's easily 110 feet long. You reckon you've got about 20 to 25 feet across. This is a proper hench warship you're on. You can see two of these arcane cannons attached to the side of them on each side of the vessel, as well as several ballistas mounted on various positions around. This is definitely a top-of-the-line vessel from even your rudimentary knowledge.
Okay, from what I can see, is there any kind of way I can dictate what time this is? Like, is this present? Is it future? Like, in some kind of way, maybe like kind of pull, if I can't figure it out by my surroundings, I'll pull someone aside and be like, yeah, what's the year or where we're going or like whatever.
Give me a insight. Give me an insight check.
Per sight?
I couldn't make my mind up at first, but yeah, let's go insight.
Okay, Bola. With a +1 in insight, that's a 19.
Ooh. You're looking around, trying to get a bit of a bearing, because like you say, you have no idea when or what this is. And you immediately set eyes on the shoreline. And as you're looking over across the river delta, you recognise a small town. You recognise the town of Alafane. Now, you don't know much about Alafane, you've never been there. The only reason that you know the town of Alafane is that this was one of the towns as you'd travelled by sea down the river after the events of Winimere that you passed. Mm-hmm. You recognise it because it has a rather noticeable monument in the centre of it that is a obscenely large elven man that's holding up an orb in front.
Oh,
this structure is huge. And you remember, and you look at it and go, oh! And you realise that this place looks pristine.
So before our little snafu.
Yes, before the snafu. That's the word snafu is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. But yes, before the incident. So, what would you like to do next?
I'm gonna locate the captain's quarters.
Lovely. How would you like to do that? Do you want to look around? Do you want to interrogate some peoples?
No, she's just gonna try to be inconspicuous, but that's hard as a half orc. So honestly, knowing her, she's just like, get in, get out, get information, whatever. So she's gonna just look for it.
Nice.
But with her little knowledge of ships, she's gonna look like for these grand double doors.
I'm gonna give you a perception check with disadvantage here because you're not very familiar with what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, she's a little nervous to talk to people. She's like, I don't know about the space-time continuum. I don't know. I don't want to mess anything up. Oh, shit. That was a 16 and a 3.
Ooh.
So that's an 8.
So,
perception.
You're on a boat. You're going around and you keep going around and you can confirm it's a very boaty boat. You find a room that looks quite promising, open it and immediately realise it's just a gunpowder store. Sort of try to like but you're panicking a little, so you go to close the door and end up it doesn't lock and you're just there just smiling going as you're trying to make the door close behind you.
I will then just like, instead of like just trying to lock it, I'll just like over pull it so it closes.
Do you know what? Give me a strength check with advantage.
Jesus. Bulla. With advantage. It was caught. Okay. Cool. Oh, Bulla. That's a 19.
Lovely, you break the door handle off.
Gotcha.
You're like... and it fully comes out in front of you as you try and make the door close.
She'll hold the handle up. Did anyone notice?
You can see a slightly frightened-looking young man, barely in his 20s, just looking at you in this look of, I'm freaking out but cannot show it, as he just looks at you wide-eyed, unblinking.
She'll kind of like look down at him, look at the doorknob, and just kind of puff up her chest. Right. I need to see the captain about this inspection of our gunpowder doors need to be a little bit more like, I shouldn't be able to break this. You know what I mean?
I love this. Can I get like another hour of Buller trying to bullshit our way through this ship? Sorry. So this guy looks at you and goes, yeah, okay. Ma'am, this way.
Cool. She's holding up the handle like this as she's walking. So it just looks like she's doing something.
You make your way through the ship, following this this rather bemused-looking seaman. He, midway through though, I need you to give me give me a perception check, just a flat roll for me.
Percept, Bulla. You must percept. Oh my God. Bulla is on it today with the percept and the insight. She percepts 23.
On a 23, you can hear a sound across the sides of the ship, which initially doesn't strike you as odd. It's just one of the sounds among many. But you realise that there's a strange fudunk, fudunk, fudunk. And you realise before... Well, you realise before he does what the sound is. You see that there's this...
You got it.
There is an elven woman with her hair all tied back up into this bun that is then covered in this clear material holding it together, entirely encased in this slightly translucent mage armor, who has crawled up the side with 2 picks and has come up the side of the ship. And as you go to react, you watch her take the pick and shove it in the side of his skull. At which point...
Door handle just like...
At which point, there's that moment of, wait, what? Which is then followed by 4 more figures. 1 dwarf, 1 orc, and another high elf, each coming up the side themselves and launching into an attack on the ship. And it is magnificent. You have a moment of standing there, still holding the door handle, by the way.
Yes.
The dwarf walks up to you, taps you on the side, and says, "Good work with me," and turns around to start running back off again as they start charging down the side of the ship. What do you do?
I'm gonna charge with Gimli. I mean the dwarf.
You watch, so you're charging, still holding the handle.
I still have the handle.
You watch as he jumps up. You watch in 2 of these beautifully athletic moves. Jumps onto a barrel, springs off the barrel up onto the side of the wood, reaches up, grabs another one of the oracular guardsmen, yanks his foot away so that he loses his footing. The man slams into the wood. He then throws him overboard off the side of the ship as they charge into battle. This then reaches the main deck. As you follow them along the side of the ship, you come onto the open deck and you just watch carnage. You realise that the orc must be a paladin themselves, because you watch as he brings in one hell of a smite as he brings it down on this just poor unsuspecting guardsman, just rending him asunder, turning him to ash on the ground that he stands. You just watch as they cut and slice their way through, at which point you see the arcane helmet on the front of the woman comes off, and you see Asana's face as she looks among the crowd, looks around her, reaches down, seems to cast a sigil onto the ground, steps back and takes cover, and you just watch as this thing fucking detonates, blowing a hole into the top deck of the ship, to which they all start jumping down into it. And you see Asana look back at you, smile, and say, "Go on, Slowpoke. You're not going to leave them all to us, are you?" And she, with a little smile, jumps in.
As much as I want to yeet her off this earth right now, I can't do that. Vola's like, no, timey-wimey something. I know I can't do that. And we'll jump in after her.
Nice. You jump in after her, and you see that a shield wall of oracular guardsmen has formed around a solid metal box. This box is about 10 foot by 10 foot in each way. It's a perfect cube that just sits in the main cargo hold. You can see that they've put a shield wall between the other people and themselves. As they have their weapons drawn, they call out, bellowing loudly, "By the name of the Oracle, we will fall before you take this. Retreat now, and we will show you mercy." To which you can see Asana looking back at you and saying, "Well, Bran, looks like they've chose the fun option." She turns around, pulls her hands around into a ball, and you just watch as the mother of all fireballs goes flying out of her hand, eviscerating them all. And you watch as the cube just drops down several decks as it just incinerates the top of the ship. The ship is now fully on fire. She turns around, grabs your hand, the one without the handle in.
Right.
She pops this little cylindrical device into it, taps it twice, and you watch as this arcane armor starts growing out across your body and covers you like head to toe in these slightly translucent pieces of arcane armor. And you just watch as they walk unmolested by the fire straight into it, following after the cube.
Yep. I'm gonna follow the cube. I will clock that she called me Bran and remember that.
She jumps down, and you can see that they have to go down 2 floors, 2 decks down the ship to get to where the cube now sits after incinerating a hole in the floor. To which they hold onto it, another sigil gets put onto it. They each grab hands, and you can see she looks back at you and says, "You alright, Bran? You're not yourself. Come on, we need to get out of here."
Right. We'll chuck the door handle. Right.
Door handle goes.
In character, deep cover. And I make my voice kind of billowy.
Yeah. She goes, "Okay." Grabs on, as you see she gives you this funny look, grabs your hand, turns the sigil, and you are taken away. Where you appear next is deep in a forest. It's quiet, ridiculously quiet. The air stinks of this strange wisp that makes your mind float. You find it hard to concentrate for a second as you're just kind of taken in by everything. And like, there's really pretty trees. Like, they're really pretty. It takes you a second. But as you sort of shake off that initial haze, you see a large metallic cube, the 4 assailants, yourself, and an old Seelie fairy sat on a toadstool, slightly away from the rest of the group. You see that the Seelie fairy looks very, very old and elderly. You know, the Fae have a way of giving themselves this perpetual youngness, but his enchantments are not working even remotely. Very much that you ever heard of the phrase "mutton dressed as lamb"? No. Have you not? Oh, it's a fun phrase. But it's a phrase basically just to say someone who's really old who's trying to pretend that they're not old.
Got it.
He is absolutely ancient looking, and seems to have a tremor to him even as he speaks. You don't actually know what he's saying. He starts speaking and the language just sounds like whistling to you. It just sounds like a series of melodic whistles as you try and listen to what he's saying. You see, as the other members of the team sit down, Asana standing, watching as the cube moves. You turn to see that there is an arcane hue. This hue, however, has a deep purple to it. You can see that there are these moving metallic structures on the outside that are clicking into place in and out of each other, as you can hear the sound of metal scraping against itself, and you realise that Asana is telekinetically controlling and moving these pieces around, trying to make some kind of pattern. I never thought we were going to get out of there. You know, I was underneath that boat for 4 fucking hours. You couldn't have done it any quicker?
Just trying to be inconspicuous, you know. Don't want to ruin the surprise.
Oh, of course not, and your huge hulking form didn't let them know of that before. I don't know what enchantments you've been using, but bloody hell, you look like you've roided yourself out. Oh dear, you'd make even the Goliaths jealous. As she continues to clunk away with the metal. We have a vanishing lizard. She will return, hopefully.
Cast invisibility on herself. It will be done in an hour.
And you watch as there is a metallic scraping and crackling. And she says, "Well?" Moving it in.
Yes.
I mean, I know that you're a meathead, but Christ almighty. She reaches up and grabs you by the scuff of your top and, like, pulls you in, but not, like, aggressively, just, like, pulls you down towards her, face to face, and just fully goes in for a kiss.
Okay.
How?
No.
How does Bulla react?
Fate die. Fate die. Oh no. Okay. Yes, Bulla. Keep your wits. Because she didn't do it aggressively, she kind of knew where this was going and wanted to completely just knock her right in the jaw, but was like, I am Bran. mm.
uh,
And then like she'll like slowly like just put either hand on her face and just like go in.
So as you give the fucking most teenaged kiss in the universe with the level of hesitation, you see that she holds it for a brief second and releases and says, "Oh my god, I knew they'd put you through sensors, but they really did a number on you, didn't they?" So
They did.
it's okay. All right, Bran. It's fine. I'll get you sorted. All right. We'll get the package sorted. We'll get him out of there, and then I'll sort you out later, love.
Wait. Okay. My mind is a little hazy still. Get who sorted again?
Christ almighty, they weren't joking about those divination enchantments. Fuck.
In this, I know it's important, and she points at, Bola points at the metal square, and I can't remember why.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll restore your memories. Okay. Well, we have finally found, well, patient zero, I suppose. First case. With any luck, this will be the answer to all of our problems.
First case,
The consumption, dearie.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, consumption. Yes, it's coming back to me now.
As you go, "It's coming back to me now," she replies with, "Well, I'm glad. Well, don't worry. Once we can speak to him, or I suppose it's probably better to refer to it as it by this point, we'll be able to find out what happened, and hopefully we can use it for the weapon. With any luck, it might be useful."
And when she says a weapon, I'm assuming it's the weapon that she was using against us.
You're not sure because she's being so vague at this point that you're having a hard time piecing together information.
Bola's just gonna do a permanent dumbfounded look.
Oh. She looks at him and goes, "It's okay, Bran, you know the thing that I've been working on downstairs? In your basement?"
My basement. Yes.
They really did do a number. Bran, the thing in your basement, this is what will make it work.
Right, and where do I live again?
Okay, at this point, I need you to give me a deception check for her to not figure out that you're clearly someone else.
Oh God!
Right, because you're...
I'm trying!
Because... Yeah, I feel like anyone would be suspicious at that point of, like, wait, how the fuck do you not know where you live? Hey, Eliza, good to have you back.
Okay, Bola, coming in with a disgusting 20.
Oh, on that filthy 20.
Filthy.
Oh,
Filthy.
yeah. You, hold on, let me do a roll for her quickly.
I'm not inside, oh no.
Ooh. Yeah, so she has this moment of looking, goes, hold on. She stops with her enchantments on the cube, pulls out a little elixir and hands it over, pops it in your hand and cradles your hand a bit and says, "It's okay. Listen, I didn't realise my mind wipe was going to go quite that far back. Okay, we'll take this step by step. Take a drink. Breathe."
Bola will look at it and goes, "Oh God, I don't drink potions." And remembers the last time she drank too much Canar leaf and almost yeeted Biobra. Oh God. But she'll neck it.
As you neck it back, this has a con save, as with a lot of potions, but do you want to try and resist the effects of the potion?
No.
So, as you do, your head starts filling with these memories, and you realise you're starting to remember Bran, and Bran's memories start flooding into your mind of Bran's old estate home just outside of the town of Winimere, of a basement that had like these people, and you start thinking about it and you realise that it didn't just have people, but specifically it had children, specifically one young girl, more important than the others, all kept in a basement, all of them being asked to do certain physical and mental challenges, and you remember Bran walking through as Asana was mixing together these various chemicals as she researched these large tomes. These memories start flooding back to you. And then you recognise a small wizard making notes. And you remember his name. You remember Archibald. A small little wizard making notes, drawing up schematics. Schematics, completely the wrong word. What's the
Blueprint.
cross section of a person? It's a medical word.
Oh, the
Anatomy.
Thank you.
The what? Sorry, I missed that.
Anatomy.
Anatomy, yeah. You can see
Thanks.
an anatomical model that he's drawing up of the young girl as he talks to her. And you then remember Bran visiting this short little rogue, picking up various goods from him, various little arcane trinkets, various little vials. And one memory comes prominently into your head. Sorry, I thought I heard something then. One memory in particular comes into your head. Ewan, you are in a basement. Specifically, the basement that you all saw before. Various trade goods. When a hulking half-orc, Bran, comes into you. Buller, you're watching this from the third person, and on the wall, the writing says, writing that they don't seem to be aware of, written in an illusory script, it says, "What you need to know." Bran moves over to you, Ewan, sits down on the bench. You've seen his face before, but don't know him well. You alright, mate?
Question: how old am I at this point?
This is 2 years before the events of the campaign starting.
Good as ever.
Well, I'm told that if I need certain things, you're a man who can acquire those sort of things.
We're already in a hidden location. You don't have to use silly words. Just call me a smuggler.
Yeah, but I ain't talking about moving a bit of black market wheat or grain or sorghum over the bloody borders, you know. This is... I'm told that you're the kind of person who can get me a... special items, you know. Things of an arcane or divine nature. At least the lady tells me.
And what is it that you want?
He takes a coin purse and drops it into your palm and says, "There's a dungeon way out over on the Dryad territories. Has these little devices. I ain't going to tell you what they're for. I ain't going to tell you what they're called. I'll give you a drawing that shows you what they look like. Don't ask questions that you don't want to know an answer to." He gestures to the coin purse a second before speaking.
Well, this coin purse is for the job. Surely you know there's another coin purse for the silence.
Alright. He reaches into his pocket, and you see as he takes a single 10-inch rod of what looks to be pure platinum. The purse has the instructions and a little bit of fun money for your journeys as you get out there. This is payment for the job. On completion. And with what's here, I imagine silence and enough to drown your sorrows for the next couple of decades. Do we have a deal?
You had to bring out a solid rod, didn't you? Really pulls out the whole half now, half later thing. You just had to be a dick about it. Fine. I'll take your rod when I get back.
He chortles and says, "My employer told me that you were a funny man." He stands up and says, "I don't usually like funny men, but they get the job done. I'll see you when you return, if you return."
Ewan looks him up and down. Killers don't normally like people who laugh at them as they're killing them.
It's business, baby.
Of course
That's
it
what
is.
we all got into.
Hey, I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
He has a wry little smile, and he says, "Well, I can't fucking speak today. Sorry, out of character. The DM is getting his words in a jumble." He smiles at you and says, "Well, come back later, get your other half, and we'll get your end away. Who knows? Can have a bit of fun too." He winks at you with this kind of uncharacteristic, playful wink as he goes back into quite a serious face, turns around, and goes to leave. And as you're stood there, Ewan, inside your coin purse, you find a map leading you to the location, and a series of these little crystals. Empty, pure, perfectly transparent, except for the edges. These are images of the crystals, not the actual ones, to clarify. You see that these drawings show you where to find them, and has the specific instruction to not cast any magic or bring them into close contact of spellcasting until they are delivered.
That makes things more fucking difficult, seeing as I have to get into the Feywild.
And
Platinum. Okay.
Buller, as you watch Ewan hyping himself up for the job, the memory moves away. and you see the young girl with a crystal being implanted in her as she screams and shouts to be moved away. You can see Asana slowly pushing in this crystal. You see that there's an opening that's been created in the side of her skull as they slide it inside her head. It snaps away again to where you're stood. Except slightly earlier, when it's being planned. You see the cube on a piece of parchment. You see inside it a person, specifically denoted as two people in one body. This duality, stuck and entombed in a perfect casing, a containment unit that nothing could escape from. You snap back to Asana, holding your face. Are you okay, Bran? Is that better?
Oh yeah, much better. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Asana.
She smiles again, pops a little kiss on the forehead, and says, I'm glad. Now, I'm going to get back to work. Keep your weapons ready. Once I get him out, I don't know how hostile he's going to be.
Yeah, sure. And I grab whatever weapon I have. Who knows what it is? I pretend to grab it. Well, I grab it, but I'm not going to use it.
Yeah. You kind of reach around and realise the only weapon you have is this huge elven greatsword that was part of your disguise, that was one of the oracular guard's swords, and it's like, oh, okay. And yeah, because you have none of your regular weapons on you.
Nope. Can Bullet even use long swords? Yeah, she can.
Yeah.
Okay.
As she clicks the door around, it opens. And as it does, you see that there is this figure. Its skin bleached of any pigmentation. No hair anywhere. No hair, no eyebrows, no body hair, nothing. It seems to have lost all of the colour from its iris. It is just this vaguely translucent, sickly-looking humanoid with wasted-away musculature that is strapped out across the side, legs spread, arms spread, into this sphere of this solid, hard gold that is itself surrounded by a sphere of this sort of like hardened rock that looks almost like a marble, which is then surrounded by the metallic casing. And as it all opens away and moves, you see as the figure opens its eyes and starts looking around. Asana steps forward. Are you even still alive in there? Clearly moving. Who am I speaking to? You see that the eyes dart around the clearing, looking around. You see the fairy walks forward, hobbling away on a small cane. The creature recognizes instantaneously, slucks itself down onto the ground and starts to try and crawl towards the fairy. And you see that the creature whistles back at the fairy. And they begin to whistle at each other. You see them both cry as they talk. Well, we know at the very least that we're speaking to Mr. Nice Guy. I was expecting the consumption to come forward first. You know what to do, Bran. she pops one of the crystals in your hands. And you watch as she walks up, gently pulls his arms back, whistles at the older fairy, who looks quite distressed at whatever she says to him, as she then holds the creature still and looks up at you. Go on before it regains its strength, for Christ's sake.
Oh, no. I don't like this.
Just
Okay.
remember, this is an event that has happened already.
This has happened already. Again, that's what Bola's thinking. She kind of freaks out. She probably will even kind of take a step back for a second. But then realizing this is a memory. And whatever she needs to know, she needs to understand in its full. So she will step forward and do what she remembers being done to the child.
As you push this thing, the creature just screams in agony as the crystal gets pushed into its head, and then it gently just goes, disappears, and you watch as it closes the wound behind itself. And you watch as its eyes roll back into its head, and its eyeballs begin to melt out of its skull and liquefy, and are replaced by a pure green arcane glow. The creature stands up and stands still. She smiles and says, "And turn to the left." It moves left. "And to the right." It goes right. Huh. It worked.
Hey.
You watch as she starts cackling to herself. And you see that the dwarf and yourself both are lifted off the ground as you feel this like vice around your neck, and says, "For what it's worth, you were quite nice while you were useful." She twists her hand and snaps both of your necks, dropping you dead and limp to the ground. You're now stood in a third person, yourself in your own body, seeing Bran's dead body, the dwarf's dead body, and you watch as the armour comes away from the other elf to reveal Archibald's face. And he looks up and says, "We did it, darling. We did it. Now to untwin them. I'll take the honours." She steps back. You see that he flicks open a book, goes through a few pages, opens up on a particular page, and as he does, you see that he isn't speaking, but Archibald's voice rings in your ears as it says, "This is what you need to know." You watch as he flicks, draws out a weapon. You see he takes a dagger, a very specific dagger. You recognise this dagger, not specifically what it is, but you know that it's ancient, very ancient, and is definitely celestial in origin. You can see by the markings on it that this thing was carved in the heavens itself. It is ornate, it is beautiful, and it is dedicated, seemingly by its patterns, to Arwen. As he takes the dagger, he walks up, stabs it in the chest, recites an incantation in the whistling, starts dragging it down the centre of the creature's sternum, and cracks it open. And you watch that the dagger pushes energy into the body as it stabs, and you can see that at the bottom of the creature's heart there is a small little node. Looks a little like a lymph node. and you see that it flickers with energy, and you see that as he holds the dagger in the lower part of the sternum and recites the incantation, you see two wisps fighting against each other, trying to untangle themselves as they move and twist. And you watch as he finishes the incantation, stabs directly into it. You watch both of them pop out separately. And he goes to destroy one, reaches up to try and hit it with the dagger, misses. Both of them flit away. You see Asana calling out, "Shit, shit, shit!" She throws up this spell, which fails to catch it, and you watch the body drop dead and limp.
To be clear, he stabbed into the chest cavity, but he did not stab into the node underneath the heart.
No, so he dragged down. So he stabbed into the chest, dragged down, split open. He did not stab. He did not stab the node. He did break it. He did stab it afterwards, but that movement was separate. He then does the incantation, then stab. Into the node.
Then stab into the node. Got it. Okay.
The final casting of that had to be.
You're a dick. So there's you see Archibald sat there looking just absolutely despondent, to which she says, "Well, there was only an off chance. Still, shouldn't be too bad. What's the worst that could happen?" To which Asana looks back round and says, "The consumption's been contained for too long now. The world isn't ready for it. Not again. Not this soon. We'll have to accelerate our plans before it spreads. Hopefully we can protect ourselves." At the back end of this memory, you find yourself in a room in a boarding house. You don't really recognise where this is initially. I do need to change the music again while you're in the boarding house, because this is a boarding house. The music is jolly and beautiful. You can hear men and women laughing, drinking, and enjoying themselves in a great celebration. You look out and realise that it is the Sylvanus Day celebrations in Winimere, some years ago. And after a moment, you see a younger Bulla with her mum and her dad going down the street, visiting the big city. As they move through the market stalls, you can see Merrick's tavern. I was trying to remember Merrick's old tavern's name. Crossed Swords.
Crossed Swords. I was like,
Crossed
candles.
Crossed Candles.
Crossed Candles, that's it.
Ah,
Yeah,
We were both somewhere.
You made it a franchise.
Yes, it's a franchise. You see Crossed Candles across, and you can see Tara just outside serving customers. Unbeknownst to each other, you see Merrick and a very young, like baby Rayleigh, being cradled by Merrick in an upstairs window. You don't see Saralise, but you hear her music ringing out into the streets as you can hear her sing for the crowds. And there's just such a ye olde spoons. Sorry, I've seen ye olde spoons. Ye weather of spoons. Oh dear, that's. Wait, have you seen Weatherspoons, Vic? Would you know Weatherspoons?
I know of Weatherspoon.
Yeah, really shitty chain over here of shitty pubs. Like,
Yes, Lewis has told me all about it.
thing like Arby's? Would it be like Arby's, but like if Arby's did like a lot of drink as well as food?
Honestly, I would go there. I love Arby's.
So, so you see all of this merriment outside, and behind you, you hear the sound of a strike against a lighting block. You turn, and you see Ewan in the boarding room by himself with a small pipe as he lights it up. Several rather large bottles of alcohol, some of which very much completed. As you smell Canar's leaf in the air and just see as he sits back, occasionally smiles, has the window open, listens to the music and merriment outside. Puffs again. Ewan turns and looks at you. But as his lips move, as he seems to speak at you, it's not his voice. You hear Asana's as she says, "This is what you need to know." And you see Ewan smile, look at you, and say, "You really ought to wake up, dear." And then you realise for a second, your brain sort of comes to. Ewan, you've just watched as Buller got yeeted out of this portal at 1 billion miles an hour, right? Just went flying across into LaCroix and is now laid down unconscious in front of you and has suddenly just gone like that right up in your face just after being thrown out of a portal.
If Buller was yeeted out of the portal, I feel like Ewan would have tried to intercept.
Oh God!
Give me acrobatics check to intercept.
For reference, he's not trying to stop her from hitting anything. He's just trying to be the rock that she is broken upon, as opposed to LaCroix.
I see the giant buff half-orc flying out of the portal, and I take a step to the side.
The correct response.
Acrobatics check. Oh shit! I've opened up Wayne's character sheet.
No, you need Ewan stats.
You need Ewan. Oh no!
I have them. No, it's an acrobatics check. It's way better.
Acrobatics is a dex check.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I thought I heard
better.
athletics. So
that's why when Sarlais was trying to get across the zombies way back when, and Zach was like, "Do an athletics check." I'm like, how about I do like hand flips across these bitches?
Okay,
so it's acrobatics instead.
I rolled a 3, so that's a 20.
How?
plus
Reliable
17.
Yeah,
Oh,
reliable talent.
Oh.
So like
Jesus
plus 9 is
Christ.
the lowest. Or,
So,
yeah, so like
you know,
11 is the
technically
lowest
a
I can
10. A 10 is the lowest I can
get.
roll.
Oh, is it 10? Okay.
So a 20 is the lowest I can get.
Okay.
Roads are good.
Your face.
So what I'm hearing is between Ewan and Alos, all checks are successes.
No, you're gay. So, moving briefly on.
What? I should have
Hey.
seen the Twitch chat.
It was somewhere between that and your mum's a hoe, so...
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Look, Zach, I am the one that's middle name is literally gay. So
Really? Wow.
it's part of it, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It
I
is
love
part of
that.
it.
That's
Mine's
cool.
hyphenated.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Sorry, that's
So
just
how-
the magnificent
how do
facts I
I-
didn't know about you before, and I love that. But yeah, so yeah, you catch.
It's a
yeah,
good thing
whoever-
LaCroix's soft.
Sorry, I've just seen Sunflower's bit, and I'm sorry, but it's the best. Remember that vine? It's the whoever passed that skill check, your mom's a hoe. Remember the teacher who did that to the?
Yep.
To be fair, my thing that I got cussed out at my like in-person table is the insult I used when I couldn't think of anything for a vicious mockery was "suck your mum."
See, when I can't think of vicious mockery, I pull up a Shakespeare insult generator.
That works, but suck your
Um,
mom is so visceral.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Very British though.
Very,
Yeah.
aggressively British.
but yeah, I'm imagining it's one of those things where like he jumps without even thinking, primes himself, and it's like the slow motion of when her like shoulders reach his hands and they just start to move. It's like, oh no. Luckily, LaCroix is soft because I feel like it's just gonna be like a. Whoa.
LaCroix just goes.
So when we realize that LaCroix has surface tension, so it's actually like because of the speed, it's just like.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. Ewan, your body's incorporeal right now.
Oh god.
So what happens is you jump, doink, you phase through LaCroix as you are just pushed through him, and just at full speed whacks into the side of LaCroix. As you are just pushed inside LaCroix and then back out the other. Just boom.
Ah,
No.
ah. I saw way more of that whale than I ever needed to see in my entire life. Oh my god.
The whale perks
And I'm face down in front of the portal.
I'll just like crouch down, like you know the meme of Rodras next to the gravestone, just like
Yeah.
I'll just be crouching down next to Bulla. Right, when I came out my portal, I walked out. What the fuck?
I'm unconscious.
No, you wake up immediately. Sorry.
Oh,
need to
I
clarify.
wake up?
You fall out
Okay.
unconscious, but the moment that your body goes still, you have that like
Yeah.
brief moment of getting out of the shock.
What the fuck? I just give you some of my water skin.
No. And she grabs some of the ground and licks it.
Right.
Anything tastes better than a sauna tongue.
Sorry, what?
I heard a sauna tongue.
Yep.
What? Wait, remind me. Asana's the one in his chest, right?
I will grab your water skin when you ask that.
Yeah.
Yes. And she will.
I'm scared to ask.
She'll just kind of sit up.
What baby?
I saw a lot.
Did you get what you needed?
And she'll kind of look at you and, yeah, you're not gonna like it though.
You are all gathered together. As you look at each other, you see a small boy interrupts you and says, "Hiya, guys. Right. So, you didn't tell me that you were gonna just like randomly leave the plane. So yeah, you're not really welcome to stay any longer because you keep, you're breaking the rules. I can't have you just going in there. You've been using my navigation. It's just not right."
Wait, Is this the same, like the God of War?
Yeah, this is
him.
this is the God of War.
Hi. Second, he came to us.
Well, duh. I sent him to you to help you get around. You were welcome to leave whenever you wanted. I left it here for you to, well, most people come here and they have a look around, they take some cool things, maybe some cuttings of some plants. They don't come around here, start mucking around with all the portals, and then two of them just randomly fucking off into the ethereal wind.
Yes, about that. Do you have any idea where they are? Because LaCroix just said they're missing.
Well, yeah. Wait, LaCroix?
I point at LaCroix.
We all just point at LaCroix.
You point over, and the whale immediately chirps up and says, "Hello there, Master. I have been given a new name by these wonderful adventurers. My name is LaCroix." And you just...
We renamed God of War's transport.
Seems fitting.
Interdimensional transport creature called LaCroix. I think the only thing that would have been any better is renaming it like Snuffles.
Spot the international.
Fido.
Do you know that I
Look,
went...
it's not like... It's not like we intended to get eaten.
Fair enough. You see, he turns around, looks at you and says, "Do you know that I rode him into the Third Sealy War as he was my great chariot who brought fear into my enemies? And now you've named him LaCroix." Yes,
I'm
Master,
sorry.
my name is LaCroix now.
I'm sorry, this thing brought fear into the hearts of your enemies?
It did, yes.
At which point, Ewan is going to stand there, kind of grab a piece and just... Really?
I just did he look like that at the time?
What else was he supposed to look like? It's a land whale.
It's a giant floating piece of butter!
I will have you know that as I went in, this thing was capable of expanding it upon many miles and crushing millions of my enemies at once. It used to swallow divisions up just for the sake of it. He has billions of life forms that he has eaten and consumed in his life. This is a murder machine, and you have turned him into a gimmick.
I'm just going to be, as he's saying that, I'm going to be like scratching just under LaCroix's ear.
We gave him a cute name.
LaCroix,
we did not.
LaCroix starts like gently wiggling side to side as you just.
Okay. You know what? Like she'll walk over to the God of War and like kneel down, like not like bow or anything, but she's like getting on his level, and she goes, "We did not mean to mock the God of War."
At which point, while that's going on, Ewan would like to get on top of LaCroix to where that like node is.
Yep.
Can I make a request that is binding for a significant length of time?
Why, certainly, Master. You gave me a new name.
Excellent. Any time that the little tyke over there issues you an order, the entirety of the time that you're in transit and the entirety of the time that they are stood upon you, can you say, on repeat, the fitness gram pacer test is a multi-stage capacity test? Recites the whole fucking thing.
Oh.
The fitness gram pacer test.
Oh my god.
Except it's in the voice. It's in the voice.
Yeah, it is in the voice.
Not the fitness gram pacer. No, not that voice. I'm talking about This is the identifier. That's the one.
Oh yes, the identify spell. Yeah, it's in that voice all the time.
Oh,
The
yes.
fitness gram pacer test.
Is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test. Okay.
It also has to have like the Welcome to Deluxe soundtrack behind it.
Oh my god.
As
okay.
Bola is just trying to
Everything.
calm down the God of War.
Yeah,
When, of course.
upon Bulla actually clarifying this is the God of War, because the rest of us didn't see him before, if I remember.
You saw him but didn't converse with him, if I don't remember correctly. Yeah.
Upon the recognition actually getting there, I immediately turn and kneel. Oh, fuck.
Yes. Well, I know
Sorry.
where your friends probably landed on the material plane. I'm not entirely sure where, but this should do. You see that he pulls up a portal in front of him, a much smaller one, and says, "Well, should get you roughly around the same time and place. Close enough."
Close enough. Close like within weeks, or close enough as in months?
What is time other than a human construct made to understand their tiny, insignificant universe?
This is very true, but that insignificant universe is very important to us. Sir.
It should
My
be
liege.
within a day or two.
I
Okay.
appreciate it. Before I go, I know we weren't supposed to muck around what you said with the portals, but I happened to learn something very important that I really need. And I saw this dagger I think I might need. I'm just wondering if you know what it is. And she'll describe the ornate dagger that she saw Archibald hold.
Oh. Well, I believe that you're describing the Executioner. And it's one I've coveted for myself for quite some time, actually. It's why am I going back into the camp wrong voice? I've got away from Childs and into the campy voice. I've gone into I'm trying to think which NPC I've gone to now. What's my real
Okay,
name?
he's the God of War. He can be whatever he wants.
Yeah.
No.
Boy.
No. He's got the child's voice. No, so I need to get the child's voice back on. Hold on. As he goes, well, I've really wanted it for a long time for myself, and but I think you'll really like it as well, because you see he puts up this illusory image, and you see it is the dagger that you saw before. This is it's the Executioner, and it's Arwen's personal dagger that he uses to sentence beings that he believes unworthy of life to a permanent death in the void.
Okay. Edwin's right. Do they have it? Or do you know where it is?
Arwen had it the last time I checked, but then again, he wouldn't exactly tell me if he had lost it, because then I would just go steal it.
Right. How about this? If I find it, I'll give it to you. But I do need some help finding it.
Oh, that does sound fun, actually. I get to piss my brother off. It's great.
As long as you don't kill thousands and millions of people.
Okay, but can I kill at least a few thousand with it? Just like to be fun with it.
Can you wait until like at least like 5th generation of me or something? Can you do that?
Well, you drive a hard bargain. But sure, I shall only use it to bring untold misery to the cosmos after 5 generations.
Wonderful.
That sounds... God, I feel very awful now. Not bad things happen, right?
Oh, not like anything too out of the ordinary. I just, sow disorder and chaos and war across the material and inner planes.
Just a couple thousand?
Yeah, just a couple of thousand, I promise.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Fine.
He puts this, you see that he puts a little necklace in your hand. You look at it, it's a daisy chain necklace.
Doesn't work with my skin, but...
Oh, no, it's okay. It's not really decorative, but it's... Sorry, I try to make magic items these days, but all of them look silly. It's a bit hard. Anyway.
No, I was being ungrateful. Sorry. Yes, what is it?
Pop that on and see what happens. Go on. Do it. You pop it on, and so the moment that you put the little daisy chain on, you can see that you basically go into thermal vision, but instead of heat, what you see is arcane energy and the amount of it radiated by individual items. This area has a low-level ambience to it, but you can see that your magic items and those of your party beam with light. The stronger items beam much hotter and brighter than the others. And he says, well, all you've got to do is to call upon it, and then it shall reveal to you the strength of the magics of certain items around you. For something as old as the Executioner, that's going to be like, it's going to be basically blinding. You're going to see it for miles away.
Thank you so much.
I am happy to help, and I cannot wait for me to have the Executioner at long last. I might even stab my brother. Only a little bit of stabbing, though. Because you said I could only kill thousands.
Well, what the gods bicker each other about is beyond my mortal being.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Right, so bring my stabby stick back soon.
All right,
if I may ask one question, since on the topic of weapons.
Uh-huh.
What do you know of the consumption? And
Bola will just look at you.
Alos goes through, or was going through the mind of, okay, the last time I spoke to a higher being about stuff of import, I got kicked out of a church. Let's hope this goes better.
You see that he looks at you and goes, oh, yeah. It's a really old disease. You don't really see it these days. Doesn't really move around a lot. It's one of our old sentient diseases that we used to have back in the day. But don't really get it much these days. It was contained 1,000 years ago?
And it was opened?
Was it? As far as I know, they contained it like ages ago.
No. It's open.
Oh.
And it's out. And she'll just look at Alos and be like, what do you know about the consumption?
I know that I was born about 1,000 years ago.
You look really good for your age.
Thank
Except
you.
the hands. The hands are pretty fucked.
Yes, speaking of 1,000 years ago.
Where you see that he sees the hand and he goes, well, it was nice meeting you, and I quite enjoy living, and I'm bored now. Bye! And just immediately upon seeing that, pushes the portal over the top of you, and forces all three of you out of Arcadia.
Wait, how do I...
Yeah. Gone.
Cool.
Where do we end up?
We are going on a break.
Okay.
Lovely. So, everybody at home, we shall see you all again in just a few moments. We will be back soon, and in the meantime, enjoy these ads.
Yay!
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 Ads!
And we are back. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hope you've enjoyed your break. We certainly have, as we've been cooling down, getting some nice cool suds to throw back. And yeah, we ready to get going?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I should have grabbed the rest of the sake bottle.
Girl.
Saralize.
Hi. I get to speak?
You do! Because you were chasing after your boyfriend and the other half of your boyfriend, the older version of your boyfriend. Fiancé, sorry. I forgot. That was bad of me. So you're chasing after both of your fiancés in that scenario. When you were banished by the younger one. Oh, dear. Looks like you're going to have to stay with the Silver Fox. And as you have been thrown back and out, you have this moment of tumbling through emptiness. There is a sense of clearly existing within a space, but no real idea of the size or volume of the space you're in. This feeling of literal gushing of air around you with no sound, as you seem to be in the space between, in the nothingness.
Oh, I have a feeling this bitch gonna get vertigo.
When you suddenly appear, still, motionless, stood, perfectly still, in the position you were when you got banished, surrounded by about 2 feet of ash, covering the ground around you. Clear sky, beautiful above.
She immediately throws up.
Oh my god, it's the Baby Groot bit where he goes through all of the things and goes, bleh, and just throws up.
Yes.
Literally just stood there, just. Poof. So, immediately froze up. Yeah, you are surrounded by clear skies and no discernible terrain around you. You appear to be on a very flat area. You can make out some hills in the distance, but themselves are grey and ashen. The sky itself is quite clear. It's a lovely, sunny, clear blue day, but it kind of mixes together with the complete grey, monotonous ash that covers over the terrain for basically every direction as far as you can see.
Okay, trying to see what I can do. Can I have snagged a piece of bone from Salvar's armor for legend lore? See what where the fuck, like, see what I know about this shit.
I don't have the armor on.
Yeah, he's not wearing the armor.
I'm not saying that you have it on right now. I'm saying when it was in their room.
It was destroyed. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. No.
Actually, I'm going
and
to
you
say
don't even know that's there.
I'm going to say that is a fair thing for you to have. Like, to have a fragment as, like, a little keepsake that you would keep on you off of Salvar's armor.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god, someone screenshot that face.
Am I back?
You're back.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah, you're back now. Oh, no, you're not.
It's happening.
Oh no, the change has come.
It's the end times!
It's the American South, she's been raptured.
You guys
Hey,
are not
hey.
moving.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Step back to reality.
But
Oh, there
I
goes
hear
gravity.
You.
Babe.
You're not. You've come back in fits and starts. Can someone please screenshot that as well?
Am I?
Oh, that's amazing.
It's like she's doing a TikTok dance or something.
It does. It does look like it's paused
Ruptured!
mid-dance. She sounds very animated and excited.
Lagged out in the middle of crab rave.
Oh Jesus!
Oh
Fuck.
shit! Yeah. Hold on. Let's see.
That's
Oh, that's
My back.
oh, that's even better. It only freeze frames on the best
This
faces.
is great. This is great.
I'm gonna yeet her out of the call. Tell her to come back in.
I'm back.
No,
No, you're not.
no, you're not.
No.
No, I can just hear screaming. I'm going to yeet you. Come back.
You have been yeeted.
There we go. We have yeeted one. We shall now move to Salvar.
Hmm.
You have banished yourself in order to catch up to your fair lady. You find yourself set adrift in cosmic wind. Until you also appear, stood up, but this time not in ash. You appear in a building, a decrepit, derelict building. Itself burnt and rent to asunder, the ash built up around it, but the roof on here has stayed strong enough as so to stay stood. The inside of it itself has, think of like a snowdrift going into a building with no doors or windows.
Mm-hmm.
It is partially filled on the bottom floor. The first foot is partially filled with ash that's flown in from the doors. It appears to be the old lodgings of a blacksmith's, judging by the rather large furnace that's still intact here. And by the various anvils and workbenches that weren't burnt away that are still standing.
Are there any tools about?
You'd have to go and look, because everything's covered in ash. Give me investigation? It shouldn't be too hard a task.
Dirty 20 according to D&D Beyond.
On that naughty 20, you go through, you find a pick, you find several mallets and hammers.
I'm just looking for one that's got like a emblem on it to see if I recognise the symbol on it, if it belongs to anyone in particular.
You search through a little longer. Oh, she's back.
But we can't hear.
Oh,
Oh,
but
okay,
there's
here
no
you go.
sound. So you're back, but we can't hear. Oh, bugger. Okay. So you root through, find a couple of different tools, nothing that sort of gives it away. Until you get to the furnace itself, you move some of the ash away, and you recognise this quite quickly. You recognise this as being a furnace from one of the minor blacksmiths in Winimere.
Oh, joy.
Check.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Cool.
can hear you.
Thank fuck.
So, Salvar, you see the emblem, the crest of Winimere upon it. What would you like to do?
I can't really do anything at the moment because I have next to no spell slots.
Well, is Salvar going to stand still?
So I was gonna like at least leave the building
Okie
very
dokie.
gingerly and things like that, and make sure everything's like obviously to keep it being cautious, obviously. But
Yeah. Give me a
it-
perception check for him as he's looking around then.
I don't have that selected to an asshole, so it's gonna be regular. Ooh, 9.
A 9. It's quite a plain landscape. You can make out some other destroyed buildings that are also covered by ash. Some of them are completely flattened. There's a couple that are like partly standing,
Mm-hmm.
but most of them are just hidden, are just rubble under the ash at this point.
Eyes of the grave.
Eyes of the Grave, you immediately recognize the stench of undeath, but nothing that is within your vicinity or has been here for a while. The area is poisoned by the smell of undeath, but there isn't anything undead existing here anymore.
Good job I have that necklace in. I don't know. Salvar's pretty defeated at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a really rough day.
Like, all of a sudden, it's sort of like he starts walking along with a purpose, but then he just stops. And he thinks to himself, I really have nowhere safe to go anymore. And he just stops.
Salvar, you stop and genuinely have nowhere to go. For the first time in your life, you have nowhere that's safe at all, anywhere. You once had a battlefield, then you found safety in your party, then in Azeroth, but with no, and importantly with Saralise, you have no party, you have no Azeroth to go back to that will welcome you, you have no party, no Saralise, you're all on by yourself. You look and see, as you just sort of take in your surroundings, you hear a bird chirping and tweeting. You see it fly overhead, a little robin. I need to change the music. Sorry, I've moved on topics and I've noticed.
There's been music playing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The bird flitters over. And you see it lands in one of the destroyed buildings, one that's just next to you. And you see it feeding its young, as it pops out a little grub. As its young eat. And it chirps away. Bird flies back up. But this time it swoops down on a building way up ahead of you. And as it does, you can hear a whistle, which you immediately recognise as not being another bird. Something whistling and calling the bird to it.
I wonder who that could be. Do I see where it's gone, or is it gone around a corner or something?
No. So there's not really a corner here. This is like a big flat space.
Oh, so I just see that person then. Oh.
So the place it goes to is in one of the destroyed buildings. So you see it fly into the building.
I'm gonna gingerly, just so I can actually be out front of it, but to have view in the door. So like I'm peering from, I'm not being that guy that dies first in a horror movie. Fuck that shit. I'm stood out front the door a good 10, 15 feet away.
You see a very old, familiar face. A young dryad looks out at you by the name of Chorin. Looks up and says, "Well, talk about blast from the past, eh? Didn't think there was anyone else out here. Salvar, what are you doing back?"
I don't know anymore.
Well, I suppose we're in the same boat then.
Why?
And you lot who got me kicked out. I'm by myself now. I gave you too much information. I'm a traitor to my sisters now. Officially.
Well, you should still have your life. If I recall, we were meant to come find you.
Yeah, I do. And for that, I'm grateful.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. She gets to stay there. Because of you. It might be the reason that I'm gone, but it's the reason that she's alive and that she's there, back with all of our other sisters. She gets to have a good life. As long as I stay out here.
Why stay here?
Well... There's no food. You travel a day in any direction. There's no water, there's nothing. Stuffed food, I'd die of thirst before I made it to the next settlement. But there's some here. There's 2 wells. A couple of streets over that way. I get water from. At the back of the town hall, there's an old garden that I found. It's covered in ash, but I managed to clear away enough of it that the plants underneath were salvageable. I keep them watered. They grow surprisingly well, considering. I ain't got anywhere else to go.
Well, I won't be staying here long. I will rest up and then I'll be going, but you can come with me if you want.
I've been meaning to leave. I don't have any way of travelling, not without any trees. So yeah, I don't mind. You can tag along. I'll get you some food, something to eat, something to drink.
I can take care of the food.
Oh yes, clerical powers.
Mm.
Ugh, what I wouldn't give for a cleric these days, eh? Come inside. It's nice in here. You see that she flicks her wrist, and you see that you realise that the inside of this building, she's created basically a small gate that holds, out of wood, that holds the ash out of the door. And so you find yourself stepping over this little fence, and you see she's cleared the inside of the room, and has set up a little fire in the fireplace, and has largely cleared it enough to get it functional. She flicks her wrist, fire comes on, and you see that she's been making things. You see there's these little wooden models that she's carved for herself, and there's these little paintings that she's been putting onto the sides, that she's been using various dyes and pigments from her plants that she's grown in order to draw these sort of like really nice elaborate paintings and various bits on the walls on the inside of the room. I don't really get visitors and couldn't get away, so
it's fine. You know me, I was on the battlefield for years, so...
You know what it's like to be alone for a long time, then.
Yeah.
It's nice to have company. She reaches down, pulls out a water skin, hands it over, and says, I don't know how far you've been travelling, but you must need something to drink.
I'm good. I got my own.
She takes a swig. Seeing as you're here, I'm going to guess that the screaming woman was Saralize then.
I'm sorry.
Some woman popped out of nowhere. Well, I assume it's a woman. Either that or it's a very young man. But, dunno, maybe a kilometre that way?
I get up and go.
You immediately leave, do you?
Mm-hmm.
She, darts up, grabs her weapons back up, and comes and follows you and says, Yeah, I just heard the scream. It was like an hour ago. I didn't know what it was.
We are moving with a fucking purpose now, I tell you what. Borrow knowledge on for perception.
Cool, do a perception check.
No, I'm just saying preemptively do it. Yeah. I'm
Saralize.
About halfway there, I'm going to do it.
Saralize.
So was I able to use a piece of the the bone armor for legend lore?
Yes, you were.
Okay, let me find where the fuck that went, because obviously my connection decided to do a fucky wucky when all that shit went down.
Yeah, I just need to bring up legend lore as well, because I am dog shy at this. I never remember what they're supposed to all do.
Name or describe a person, place, or object. So she's describing this particular battlefield and everything that she sees around it. Spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. Lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, even secret lore that has never been widely known. If the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you gain new information. The more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is. The information you learn is accurate, but might be couched in figurative language. For example, if you have a mysterious magic axe on hand...
Yep, I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Amazing.
You're doing this to give you...
She's going to assume this is the battlefield that they were on...
From before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're doing it on the bone armor...
I'm gonna say she just keeps a piece, like one of the teeth from it, and that's her material component she uses.
Okay.
Like she snagged one of those.
So
when it was destroyed.
I'm gonna go with... It takes you about 10 minutes to get through the casting. So you sit down and you're on the ash. As you finish, did you get this from young Salvar or older Salvar? I forget. It's older Salvar when he got rid of...
It's older Salvar.
Yeah. Yes, the legend lore spell. The item that you have here appears to be part of the remains of a half-orc that fought during the Great Infernal Wars. This particular half-orc in question appears to have been a warrior of the roaming tribes of Gazrak II.
It's Ivory. She's using this as the component, not the bone armor. She's trying to find out about the battlefield.
I'm confused.
She's using the bone armor as a component for doing the spell about the battlefield.
Oh! Then what are you putting this on? What are you casting legend lore on? Oh, name a describe place object on the area that you're in.
Say that again. Yeah, because it can be person, place, or object. So she's doing it on a place.
Right, I didn't understand. I didn't get that's what it is. So you're doing it on the place you're in now.
Sorry.
Yes. Sorry,
my internet is being unstable again.
Okay. So, you hear it go, yes, the legend lore spell. Currently, you sit within the ruins of the great city of Winimere. This has been the legend lore spell.
Well, fuck! Great.
You look around you and see that there's nothing for miles in any direction. Just ash. Except for about a kilometre away. Actually, cardinal direction's not too important, but just to the left of where Saralise is looking. You can see that there is a group of ruined buildings that are poked up through the ash that haven't collapsed under the weight. Roughly forming what looks like about 3 parallel streets. Roughly you can sort of make out from their rough configuration. And then just away from them, there's 1 or 2 buildings that are randomly splotted around them that have stayed standing, but the rest of it is all buried. and you can see smoke.
Does she see anything?
No, you can see that one of the buildings has smoke coming from it.
She is going to go towards the building that has smoke coming from it after yelling fuck.
I am gonna say, to kind of marry this a bit better up together, because as you're heading towards the smoking building, both Salvar and Saralise, I will reunite you at this point. I know there's a bit of a continuity error, but we're going to have to move past that. I just think it's easier for you two to just relink.
Well, you said someone yelling that was feminine.
Yeah.
So yelling fuck is technically a way to marry it.
Yep, that kind of works. We'll go with that. As you see Salvar, as you're running off, you can hear Chorin desperately trying to catch up with you. As you then make eyes with Saralise and recognize her.
Oh, thank God.
Oh. You see Chorin catch him going, oh, hi. Oh, he runs fast.
Still that defeated look on his face.
Saralise goes up to Salvar and just grabs him and kisses him.
Oh, okay. I'll give you guys a minute. I'm just gonna go get a drink. You see that she takes a sip of her water skin and starts like trudging her way back towards the building she came from.
So what happened after I was banished?
He was a traitor.
Okay, just remember, you don't have those memories. You're an entirely different person, darling.
I know that's not me. I know. The person who I was before, well, that person, gone. Dead. But I still have to live with his sins.
You're not wrong. But you are a different person. You're a much better person.
I know.
She kind of,
Others won't see me as that, though.
She wipes what I'm assuming is probably like some of the ash soot from his face.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, hold
on.
Keep going. I'll back in a second. Sorry.
You're fine. And she's going to give him a big hug. I know this doesn't change how you're going to feel about it. You have every right to feel whatever you're feeling, darling. But you are so much better than that. And she kind of tilts his head up. Don't. I know hindsight's 20/20. And you're going to feel so many different things right now. But you're not that person.
I know. I know. That's not what concerns me.
What is it that concerns you?
And my God might have caused a lot of this. Maybe. That my God might have had something to do with Ewan's resurrection. And if that's the case, I don't know why.
Having come from a plane where the gods walked among men, the gods are fickle. They are going to do what they desire to do We cannot necessarily understand their machinations. They're assholes. And in fact, many in Ballybryn wish to usurp our gods.
I don't know what to do now.
She cradles his head. What do you want to do? Not what should you do? What do you think is best?
What I think is best, what do I want? I want to leave.
This plane? Winimere?
I just
You
want
need to
go somewhere where I'm not hunted or spat upon. I want to be at peace for once. And I think the only way I'm going to do that is if I either kill someone or I run away.
kill who?
Whoever wants to hurt me, hurt you, hurt our friends. And the thing is, I don't know who that is, or what that is.
I'm going to point out
It could be
that-
Rowan for all I know.
That's true. But no matter where we go, there's likely always going to be someone or something that takes issue with us.
Mm-hmm.
My plane, Regina, is tumultuous at best. The gods and dragons and high-level sorcerers and wizards, they fight amongst themselves all the time. And people die in the crossfire all the time.
Probably not a good place to power level then.
My parents always warned me to stay away from the gods. And she kind of just puts her hand out in like a flicker of shining, glittering light shows as just a show to show her the fact that she's fey touched. But the gods are not always unkind. They're fickle. But sometimes they do give gifts.
So I realize I don't know what to believe anymore.
And that's entirely reasonable. You have every right to feel that way. We are not playing a game of just mortals. We are playing a high-level game of chess with the gods.
Chess?
Chess is... It's a strategy game. You have many different pieces. Pawns are the lowest level. The king and queen would be more tantamount to gods. And then you have those intermediate pieces. We would probably be considered somewhere between a pawn and the intermediate pieces.
Is it possible for the pawn to kill the king?
Yes. It is. But it takes a lot of strategy to do that.
Imagine it'd be expensive too. Speaking, wow. Salvar, you can see a visual look of Salvar getting a slight bit uncomfortable now. It's like he's like, I don't really want to have this conversation anymore. I'm exhausted. There's still the thing. I want to move on from it. He sort of like decides to sidetrack. Pulls out the what did I call it? Like where do I care to? Where the fuck did I wrote it down? I know for a fact I wrote it down.
This is me furiously trying to remember what it was.
I remember. I literally labeled it as wine to pay for wedding. So,
I remember now.
Yeah, because we never got a specific name, if I recall. We just got like all I know is that this thing will pay for like this. We sell this to the right person, you know. So, does Saralise recognize what this is, or?
Saralise, give me a history check with advantage.
Okay.
Because.
So. That's a 24.
So.
I know what this wine is.
You do?
I've probably drank this wine a couple of times while wining and dining
Oh,
people.
Saralise, this is a blast from the past. You see, I hadn't decided out of character. Zach didn't decide what to say that this wine was. But we had a conversation over the break, which has immediately made me realise what this is. This is pure, aged Dionysian wine.
Do you know what you have there?
An expensive bottle of wine.
You have more than that. You have a wine of the gods.
Oh. So, a very expensive bottle of wine.
Very expensive, darling.
We should probably keep this to ourselves so we can sell it. Then maybe pay
yes.
for our wedding. Yeah.
How expensive do you think our wedding will be? I was not.
I mean, at this point, you can spend as much as you like, really.
You're not wrong. But Saralise was just thinking, like, friends and family. Like, bare bones basic. Because Salvar can officiate the wedding himself. Like, we're not having to pay for a priest.
I see. The Home Depot wedding, I see.
So.
The courthouse wedding.
Yeah. But what was it? Would have been? It would have been the old blacksmith weddings like they used to have at Gretna Green. Oh dear. Anyway,
I'm just gonna snap next to Saralise's face because I can see like the dollar signs in her eyes.
Not that much. Not that.
No, she's not thinking it. She's like, I legit thought that this was going to be like very cheap. Like, we weren't getting anything expensive. It was just you, me, our friends, hopefully my parents.
Oh, right.
So, I did good.
You did very good, darling.
Put this away.
Yes.
Start it with my life.
Yes.
Second most important thing to me right now. But yeah.
Later.
Apollo. you literally see Starlight doing this, and she's just like, "Fucking Apollo!" Like, she's like,
How?
she's literally like sending all her prayers to like her gods.
Are we literally? I don't know why, but I feel like we're about to make a deal with a god or something at some point. I don't know.
I'm gonna cut away to later this evening. Both of you are able to take that wine, keep it very safe, get some fresh water, some food, as Chorin gets out a map and says to each of you,
Have we long rested technically, or?
You're about to long rest.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, you could take a short rest, actually. If either of you want to take a short rest, try and get some spells back and bits bobs.
Neither of us can do that way.
Yeah, we don't get spells back. We're a bard and a cleric. We have to get a long rest.
So, it's later in the evening when Chorin pops out a map and says, I can't get us very far, and hopefully you have a means of travel which keeps us... I can't see any way we're going to be able to travel over such long territory without some sort of form of teleportation. We wouldn't have enough food and water to be able to trek over the ash.
I think with Dimension Door, I'm only able to do one other person at the moment.
Yeah, but that would also only be for 500 feet. You wouldn't be able to get that for the full length that you need to travel, because you've got over a day's travel.
I never got time to designate the pub as a sanctuary, otherwise I would have used Word of Recall or something like that.
She looks over and seeing that both of you sort of not really replying, she goes, well, do you at least have any food and water we could take with us? I've got some food here, but there's not much I can drag out of the wells.
If you can wait a good 8 hours for me to rest, I can prepare something. I can take care of that food and water. It won't be good, but it'll make us survive at least.
Lissa needs a sponsored pee break, so you guys continue talking.
She nods and says, well, we leave in the morning then.
Great.
I am... Hold on. Yeah. So, given everything for today, given the fact that I am melting and so is Rob, and to a lesser extent Lewis and Casey, I think we're gonna call an end to today's session. We've wrapped up our arcs nicely, and we are all ready and set for the bullshit I'm gonna pull out on your next session.
So we just don't know where Bulla, Alos, and Wayne
fully do not know.
Now you know how it feels.
Fully don't know.
We don't know if we got there before or after what just happened either.
Nope. No idea.
And what just happened exactly?
I wonder.
They're in Winimere, though, and that makes me nervous.
Yep.
I was not realizing we were going to see Winimere so soon.
I'm saying as soon as we get back to that pub, Sava is taking a good hour to cast Sanctuary, okay? I'm just saying, because I'm not dealing with this shit no more.
So, we are ready and raring to go. We're off, and we're back... not next week, the week after.
Aww.
Oh, dear. Actually, hold on. Let me double check. No, we are back next week, actually. Sorry, that's my mistake. No, we're not. Sorry. I'm confusing myself. No, we're not. Not next week, the week after. I'm misreading it. I need to stop skim reading.
Wait, so we're back on the 26th then?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll see you on the 26th.
Awesome.
I don't know when the Waking Dungeons is back on, but that will also be soon.
23rd, I believe.
23rd, yeah.
I believe.
So, well, you're going to have a double dose of Dead Bard Society then. But we will catch up with you all